Hey traders, this is Park again with another video on an indicator that I really love to use. It's called the previous day close with expansion levels. They're based off the Fibonacci numbers. Here's a short video explaining to you what these numbers are and what they do.
The Fibonacci sequence is a set of numbers following the rule that each number is equal to the sum of the two preceding numbers. So the sequence looks like this. Visually, this creates a swirling pattern as the sequence goes on. The Fibonacci sequence is named after Italian mathematician Leonardo of Pisa, who used this sequence to illustrate a problem on breeding rabbits. How many pairs of rabbits will be produced in a year beginning with a single pair if in every month each pair bears a new pair which becomes productive from the second month on? Fibonacci numbers are found everywhere in nature, from the branching of trees and leaves to the distribution of raspberry seeds to the pattern of flower petals, even on the human body. Most body parts follow the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 5, from the fingers on each hand to the proportions on your face, also known as the golden ratio, roughly 1 to 1.6. Design experts use both the Fibonacci sequence and golden ratio to guide architecture, websites, and user interfaces, among other things.
So what I did was take that same concept and apply it to trading based off of my floor level is the yesterday's closing price. And this is what you get. You can see it populates or stays on the previous day as well. I'm gonna go in and start the Thinkorswim on demand feature, but for the most part, you're gonna get your previous day close, which is the floor that the indicator is using to base those number off of. But I don't start with 1 because I don't think that's as significant as 5, 8, and so on. So what you get is the previous day close, the open, the pre-market high, the previous day high, pre-market low, and the previous day low as well. And you get the fib levels, and all they are really percentages away from the previous day close. If you read any of the trading books out there, they always talking about you want to always keep in mind yesterday's close, the yesterday's high, yesterday's low, and so on and so forth. So you get all those, you get the price levels, you get the names, and you also get the day's high as well. This right here just represents the day's high for that day. And if you look over here, you can see it auto populates on all the other days as well. See, that's the highest candle, that's the next highest candle, that's the next highest candle for that day, and so on and so forth. So you can cut it off or you cut it off, but all of this is showing you the day's high. I use it as areas of support and resistance, and you get the little white line as your support, and it just tracks the day's high and the day's low. And if you are familiar with this stock BTB, it was the one that ran Friday. I don't remember what the news was, but if you look at it, it follows those Fibonacci numbers pretty well. And even if I expanded it out, and you can see how it just hits those numbers, those key levels, and it goes. It broke below here a little bit. And if you read Ann Coulin's book, she talks about a rubber band effect or elastic effect. This was that day's closing price. This is 5% away from it. This is 8%. That's the open. That's that previous day's high. And then that's 13, 21, 34. And you can see how it just stays in those little areas, or it stays in those little ranges. I call them expansion levels because that's what Fibonacci based everything on. And he on expansion. So, and as you can see, it as soon as it started out that morning, 5 minutes later, it just jumped up. I'm gonna speed it up because I really want to show you how it really just stayed within those error ranges. And there's your fib 21. It hit fib 21, and for me, I expected a bounce off the 13, just like you would use the Fibonacci ratios, or maybe a pullback to the 13 fib, and let's see what happens. The on-demand feature takes a second sometimes, so we're gonna press it again to see if it pushes. And it says it's buffering, pre-buffering. Come on, Thinkorswim. So I'm gonna push it. I'm just gonna force it to 12 o'clock. And the on-demand feature is, let's see. There we go. So I pushed it all the way to 12, and it didn't come all the way back down to this 13, but it came close enough, and I would probably get in right here on this 12. On this 21 fib, and with the risk level of the 13, and probably take profits. Take 70. I always take 75% of my profits at the next level of this 34, with a possibility coming back here to possibly bounce. And there's your little day high indicator that's built into this indicator. And there's your $3. Yeah, I would expect the $3 as well, and be a natural resistance. Whole numbers are $half. And there it goes. It came right back to that 34, just like Ann Coolin talks about in elasticity of the stock, and it's going right back up. And this right here, this white line, the 242, is a day's resistance on the full day. And that's where that white line came from. And these pink lines right here represents a gap to possibly be resistance or support. And as you can see, once it broke through this gap area, this resistance level became support, and you would expect the same here. So if you was watching stock beforehand, you could have got in earlier, and that's where you would expect the stock to stop at this past level of resistance. And we're going back to it, and as you can see, it went right back to that expansion level, and it's continuing on. And that's how I would do it. Basically expect it to return back to this level to take profits, and you can see how it's basing out, possibly getting in here at this level with the take profits at the 268. So you could have based your bricks on 257 to 268, or possibly going back all the way up to 3, or possibly this level 286. And from this fib, I would probably held all the way up to 310, or possibly just took my profits at 3, because I know whole numbers and $half are strong areas of support and resistance. I'm gonna try and push it to see what happened later on that day. And it just struggled at that 34 fib level. And I'm gonna go ahead and push it to the end of the day. We're really past the end of the day. And there you have it. It came back to this area, consolidated, and I would expect it to consolidate as well at this 250 to possibly come back to. I always mark myself out in blue or in these colors, but it really consolidated at this area, pulled back to this area of 250. But for whatever reason, it shot up at the end of the day. So I'm going to push it to after hours. I'm going to push it all the way to to the last 10 minutes of the after hours, and you can see how it just pushed all the way up. And this cyan level is 100% away from the previous day close level. And look at that. When it did shoot up from the 34, it shot up to the 55 level and went up to the 89, and it struggled from there. And we'll see Monday where the stock landed. And that's pretty much it. This is the previous day close with expansion level, Fibonacci expansion levels. If you're interested in indicator, just look in the description. You'll see a link to my email or the shop. If you found this information useful, please leave me a like or a comment. Or if you have any other ideas of indicators, give me a comment and maybe I can help you out with that. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe for more information or to get the latest indicators that I'm pushing out. Y'all have a great day and happy trading.